Trump said we'd get tired of winning, and it's only been about 10 months, and Democrats are throwing in the towel.
If this is making America great again, we need to stop making America great again because I'm exhausted, morally and physically and mentally exhausted.
You're not supposed to tell your opponent you're tired. You think Jordan leaned over to the mailman, Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and said, "Carl, I'm exhausted." Come on, Joy. We're in the golden age, baby.
Yeah, excited isn't the word. The market should be excited, too. We're seeing interest rates move down and stocks move up.
What do we tell you? Don't be a panicking.
The stock market has been telling us what to believe ever since Liberation Day. The stock market said this is not going to be the end of the world. Like so many, like almost unanimously, business reporters that tariffs were the end of the world. And here we are, you know, up, what are we up, 36% since then?
The Dow just closed at an all-time high. What's exhausting about fatter 401ks, peace deals, and beautiful renovations? All this great stuff going on, and the Democrats shut down the government so not everybody can enjoy it.
We know that people are going to suffer if we don't open the government. And we only have just under a week to make sure that this does not happen. And I'm just going to make it as plain as possible. People will go hungry.
The so-called party of the working class is okay with the working class going hungry. Not Trump. He's doing everything he possibly can to make sure people get paid. One of his buddies even cut a check for the troops.
He called us the other day and he said, "I'd like to contribute any shortfall you have because of the Democrat shutdown. I'd like to personally contribute any shortfall you have with the military because I love the military and I love the country." And today he sent us a check for $130 million. That's what I call a patriot.
That's something we can all celebrate. I guess billionaires aren't that bad, right, Bernie? But Democrats are calling Trump the military paymaster. They'd rather soldiers' families go hungry than Trump get credit. And yet, they're still hung up on the ballroom.
He thinks that he has the authority to go and destroy, what is essentially a sacred historic site and put up, a palace because he thinks he's a king.
A palace? Trump thinks he's a king? Obama thought he was a god. Remember he descended from Mount Olympus and spoke like Caesar surrounded by Greek columns? He told us he had the power to lower the world's oceans. His nickname was the Messiah. The media gave him a halo. But Trump builds a ballroom for the country, and Democrats are stunned speechless.
Tonight, sources tell ABC News President Trump is aiming to tear down the entire east wing of the White House.
It's almost like Democrats have never been anywhere near a construction site. Pocahontas and Hot Dog Amy sound like a bunch of hippies.
No, it is actually a demolition zone. That is what it is. Look at that.
Oh,
unbelievable.
Wow. This is a construction zone. You know, Donald Trump can't hear people asking for help because there's all this
all the
chaos
machinery. I mean, these are like bulldozers taking down the people's house right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, construction's noisy, ladies. It's men at work. He's building you a place to dance in a dress. What a gentleman. Obama hosted state dinners in a tent. Dignitaries from all over the world would come to the White House, and they weren't allowed to go inside the White House. They ate dinner outside on the grass. And you know where they went to the bathroom? In a porta potty. Prime ministers had to use a porta potty. Imagine Merkel in a porta potty. It's disgusting. It also ruined the lawn. You couldn't even use Marine One. The tent was so big. This was long overdue. They're actually suing Trump to stop construction. The only thing that Trump broke is Betty Ford's heart.
The East Wing was home to America's first ladies. Betty Ford, that's her at her desk. She once famously said, "If the West Wing is the mind of the nation, then the East Wing is the heart." Well, it has been ripped out.
Trump's not like demolishing the First Lady's office and making them work remotely. It's an upgrade. And the president has decided what he's naming the ballroom. Are you ready? The Donald J. Trump Ballroom. Of course. What did you think? He was going to name the ballroom after the auto pen? You know who else loves the Donald J. Trump ballroom? Rachel Maddow's boss. Yeah, Comcast, MSNBC's parent company, donated millions to build the ballroom. How embarrassing for MSNBC. I mean, MS Now. They should be called MS Never because they're never right. The president says he's already received $350 million in donations. That's more than the cost. With the money left over, he could build Miller his own VIP room. And the Democrats who complain aren't getting an invite.
President Donald Trump, you go meet him. He's charming as can be.
Charming.
Sits down, talks with you. He says, hey, Joe, what about this? What about that? No, that's, and we talk about a lot of things. And then one time I told him, I said, Mr. President, just call me last. I was the only Democrat he was talking to. Come over, have breakfast, come over to lunch or do whatever, come to a movie. And had a lot of fun.
They hate it. He's literally having a ball. Republican presidents aren't supposed to enjoy their presidencies. They're supposed to be under siege and hounded out of town like scoundrels and constantly having to flip-flop and apologize and fire staff. Not Trump. He's making peace, building big, beautiful things, and tossing sombreros on their heads. Republican presidents aren't supposed to celebrate beauty and architecture. That's Democrats' turf. And Trump's being serenaded by Andrea Bocelli while he designs historic monuments. They're jealous. Let's face it, Democrats will never be able to tear it down. The next Democrat president, what are they going to do? They're going to treat it like their city, spray paint it, let a bunch of homeless junkies in. New rule. No one's invited to the ballroom if you called us Nazis.
Stephen Miller is a white supremacist. I mean, he is. And even though he's Jewish, he's like a Nazi Jew.
Well, look, I can't speak to what Stephen Miller's motivations are. I've met him. I've talked to him. I've interviewed him.
How tall is he?
Yeah, we're dying to know.
Oh, God, I can't remember that.
Short?
Miller's a short Nazi Jew? Really? He's 5'10". What about the guy running for Senate with Nazi tattoos, Graham Plattner? The so-called nipple Nazi didn't just cover up his Nazi tattoo with a little wolf. He said blacks don't tip, called cops bastards, rural America racist and stupid, called himself a communist, and now we find out he called the military gay. The Democrats will probably say he meant like gay isn't happy. Another Democrat running, Jay Jones, fantasized about shooting Republican kids. JB doesn't care. He just cut the guy a check.
He's apologized about that. People make mistakes. They do.
So he shouldn't drop out.
It's one thing if someone's doing it repeatedly, right? If you're making comments repeatedly that are, like that no doubt that was an offensive thing to write.
You've donated $20,000 to Jay Jones' campaign.
Making a mistake is like shrinking your wife's sweater in the dryer. Saying you want to kill children is not like, oops. This is who they're backing, so-called nipple Nazis and bloodthirsty fanatics. What's next? They're going to nominate Antifa?
I think a lot of Democrats believe like I do, but they've gone so far to the left, they can't retreat. And if they don't get out of their way, they're going to go down in defeat.
Bernie's backing the so-called nipple Nazi and Kami Mandami. Bernie's the new power broker, and the establishment's caving. All summer, Hakeem's been under pressure to endorse Sauron the Destroyer here in New York, and he's tried to play it cute.
I have not refused to endorse. I've refused to articulate my position, and I will momentarily at some point in advance of early voting.
What a politician. I haven't refused to endorse. I've refused to articulate my position. And I won't do it now. I'll do it later. No wonder no one takes this guy seriously. Burn Dog must not have liked that answer because an hour later, Hakeem announced he was throwing his weight behind Kami Mandami. What changed? Bernie's been talking up a third party.
Do you think the current Democratic Party is worth saving?
I think the idea, what is in a name? You can have a great Democratic Party, you can have a terrible Democratic Party, you can have a great this or that. I think the idea, your question is, should we today abandon the Democratic Party, start building a third party? It's a fair question. I think it is enormously difficult to do.
Bernie's calling the shots. Schumer's on the ropes. Hakeem was forced to endorse a communist, and Nancy's got a crapped hit and on the brink of retirement. Burn Dog has his eyes on AOC for 28, and the Democratic establishment did Biden so dirty, now the big guy's in bed with Bernie. His girl Binder is out there saying we need commies and so-called nipple Nazis to get out and fight, fight, fight.
Millions of Americans feel the way that I do when it comes to the Democratic Party just not meeting the moment. We want them to fight. We want them to show teeth. We don't want canned responses. We want an opposition party.
Is she looking at her binder during that interview? Think about it. Bernie and Biden both got screwed by the brass. They rigged the primaries against Bernie and stole 14 million primary votes from Joe. Schumer, Pelosi, Barack, the Clintons. The enemy of my enemies, my friend. The Biden family thinks the coup gave America Trump 2.0, and they're laying all the blame on these usual suspects. Binder's out there saying Sleepy's wide awake.
Do you think that he is capable right now of being president?
I did not see anything that concerned me when he decided to run for president. I did not.
The cross-legged Messiah thinks he can still perform miracles. He anointed the cross-legged disciple for 28, and now Gavin's feeling frisky.
Good morning, everybody. I gotta come in and check everybody out. Came out here because I wanted to thank you. I want to thank you for everything you've done to get us to this moment. I wanted to thank you for all the hard work, all of the energy you put in to get us to this moment.
Whoa, Gavin thinks he's in Iowa. We know you're running for president, dude, but don't make it so obvious so early. That crowd was all union, by the way. They're paid to show up. But can a straight white male win the Democrat nomination? Or will Gavin have to perform a series of land acknowledgments at the convention? Will he have to promise on day one to put a transgender bathroom in the big, beautiful ballroom and turn it into a migrant shelter? Will he have to apologize for dropping the atomic bomb on Japan? Will he need to Me Too himself and appoint the Maryland dad as ICE director? The cross-legged disciple really has his work cut out for him, especially facing threats like this.
This is Congressman Shri Thanidar. Every American must have affordable health care, and that's why I'm fighting in Washington, D.C., even if it means shutting this government down.
Gavin's just lucky Shri was born in India, and Kami Mandami was born in Uganda, and Abrego Garcia was born in El Salvador. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.